baby. Oh my God, there was no need for that. My nuts are gonna be black and blue. Mint. So let's get into it. For the first installment of this 3-part mini-series, I'm just going to be using a very basic setup, just 2 bomber's anchors linked together with a sling. Future episodes of this mini-series are going to show different ways of joining those anchors together, even 3, 4, sometimes 5 anchors in serious situations where the gear is poor. We're going to go through in-reach and out-of-reach in the future, stuff for single pitch, stuff for multi-pitch, and also stuff for sport use as well. If you've seen my video on 5 useful tips to becoming a summer mountain leader and passing your summer mountain leader assessment, you might already know that I quite like the old abbreviations and acronyms and stuff like that. So much like CLAP, I actually genuinely do use CLAP when I'm out leading, especially in mountain biking and gorge walking, you know, when things can just change like that and incidents can happen. When I'm out rock climbing, I always use ideas, whether I'm out with an equal doing single or multi-pitch. When I get to an anchor, I'm always thinking ideas. If I'm leading complete novices, I'm thinking ideas. Even when I'm out scrambling, whenever I get to a B-list stance, I'm thinking, yeah, ideas. And what is ideas, I hear you say? Oh no, no one hear this time. Ideas, I'll show you now. So then, the I in ideas is independent. Now I'm always going to place a minimum of 2 bits of gear. Well, who doesn't love a red offset? So when I first set out to build this particular anchor for demonstration purposes, I was planning on using 2 10 out of 10 bombers bits of gear. But then I came across this little purple nut placement, which was great for demonstrating direction of pull. You know, one way it's absolutely bombers, and then if you pull it the other way, it just plops straight out. Try orientating those carabiners to keep the gear off the rock, stop them from coming undone accidentally. I, in ideas, is independent. Each anchor needs to be independent of the other one and not reliant on the other one in any sense. What I mean by that is, if I bring these 2 together. Now, if one of those anchors goes, if one snaps out, that anchor has still got us nice and safe. Now, this could be due to poor placement. It could even be due to crumbling rock. So always make sure you check the rock, make sure it's not hollow first. To keep your anchors independent, it's also really important to think about the way you attach yourself to the system. So the one I'm about to set up here is self-equalizing, and it also equalizes itself like in the correct direction. The problem is, if one of those bits of gear goes, the whole system's just going to slide through. Now, there is a way to solve this, and I'm going to show you that in one of the future episodes of this little mini-series. And next, the D in ideas stands for directional. Now, you've got to imagine I've got a second coming up from there. The second takes a fall, is going to pull everything in that direction. Now, I want to know that the gear stays in when pulled down in that direction. So as I said at the starting, I did choose this little purple nut for exactly this purpose because it is really directional. From that way that I'm pulling it there, it's probably about a 6 out of 10. It's half decent, you know, it's pretty bombers. But if my second takes a fall from that direction, boom, it's coming out and they're going to take a whipper. Now, in future episodes of this mini-series, we're going to go through the ABC Anchor Belay Climber thought profile with this as well. The E in ideas stands for equalised. So, as I've already said, anchors need to be directional. And now if my second takes a fall in the direction we've already spoke about, it's going to fully load one bit of gear and the other bit of gear is going to be slack. What could happen there is all the weight is going to be on one bit of gear. It's going to rag that bit of gear out potentially, and then we're going to shock load the other bit of gear, which is going to give it more chance of coming out. So when we pull it in the correct direction and pulling over and knotting it, we're just going to make sure that the weight is on each anchor equally. Next, we've got A for angle. So the angle that we're going to be looking for is 60 degrees. And you can see 60 degrees by using your index finger and your middle finger. Makes a good 60 degrees. 90 degrees is the maximum we want. Okay, anything over 90 degrees, we're going to be putting a lot more stress on each one of the anchors. 90 degrees we can see by making that L shape with our index finger and our thumb, so that's your maximum. 60 degrees helps us spread out the weight as well as giving us good lateral stability. Now, to better illustrate this whole theory about the angle and how the angle affects each anchor, I've got with me 2 willing volunteers that are going to help me with a small demonstration. Now, theoretically, in this configuration, we're imagining that the anchors are basically in the same place. So if I pull on the system with 100 kilograms of force, that is going to be spread equally between the 2 anchors. Each anchor will feel 50 kilograms of force, but it will not give us any lateral side-to-side stability. Now here, I've got that golden 60 degrees. So mathematically, if I pull on that anchor with 100 kilograms of force, 58 kilogram is going to be felt at each anchor, which means that it's spread out fairly evenly. And if I give this a good tug, even though I'm a massive, hench, muscular bloke, I'm not going to be able to move these lads very easily at all. Now, in the next scenario, I've got the vector set at around 120 degrees. Now, 90 degrees is the most that we go for. So if I had the vector set at 90 degrees, if I pull with 100 kilograms, we're going to feel roughly 71 kilograms at each anchor, which is quite a lot. Now, at 120 degrees or over, you get a bit of a mathematical phenomenon occurring, a bit of a weird physics thing. So in that case, if I pull with 100 kilograms, each anchor is going to feel 100 kilograms. Meaning, all I need to do is give this a little tug and I can get these lads moving. And finally, S is for solid. Are the placements bombers, especially in their direction of pull? Is the rock absolutely bombers? Is the rock secure enough? Is it crumbly? Is it attached to the cliff face? Is it secure? Is it solid? Now you've also got to think, is the anchor I'm using suitable and appropriate for the people that are seconding me? For instance, if I've got giant haystacks and Tyson Fury on the end of the rope and one of them takes a whipper and rips the other one off, is my anchor going to be able to hold their combined weight in a shock loading situation? This one, probably not. On the other hand, if I had my brother-in-law on the end of the rope who's fairly light and he's a really good confident climber, I'd be more than happy to use this anchor setup. If I was going to be leading a couple of novices up this route, I wouldn't use this exact setup. I would use the following setup that I'm going to show you just now for this belay stance. Oh God, I love a red offset. And remember lads, don't be afraid to give it a tug. Don't be bonkers, check your conkers. So at this point, yeah, I'm just connecting them together and I'm just going to make sure that they are independent, which they are. If one goes, the other one's bombers. They're 2 really good placements. I've got to ensure that they're going to be pulling in the same direction. I'm also going to get the tape out of the way because it's pretty bugging me not up. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that if they get loaded, they're both going to be pulling in the same direction. And when they are pulled in that direction, they're equalised. They're nice. Same weight held on each anchor. The angle is a little bit under 60, but I'd rather be under 60 than over 90. I'm still getting that bit of up and down lateral support. And you know what? As I said, the gear is bombers. As always, thank you all very much for taking the time out of your life to watch my video. Be great if you'd like and subscribe. Be fantastic if you leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's anything that you'd like to see me do. Anything as stupid as you want. Thanks very much.